Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports. And of course, before the break, I told you we're going to be talking with some cheerleaders. So here with me today is Coach Shawna David of Xtreme and cheerleader Cherisse Ealie. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Ealie. Ladies, welcome to the set. Welcome to Let's Talk Sports.
Thank you.
So, of course, TTCF, Trinidad and Tobago Cheer Federation. Just give me some information about that. When was it founded? Who are some of the partners?
Trinidad and Tobago Cheer Federation was founded in 2008. Their main goal is to spread the sport of cheer in Trinidad and Tobago, and also to develop athletes to an international standard. A lot of the times when people think of cheerleading, they're thinking of the yay, yay, hurrah, rather than the actual athletic and technical detail that goes into it. So when Trinidad and Tobago started, Koya Barramon, the president, wanted to bring the sport up to a known level where you're not just seeing those things on television anymore, you're seeing it here in Trinidad with our athletes.
So do we have, of course, the Trinidad and Tobago Cheer Federation is the umbrella, but how many clubs or different groups would you say to date?
I don't know the exact number anymore, but this year it's really exploded. It's really exploded. This last competition that we just had was just about 13 different teams.
Nice.
And, you know, every year there's still more schools coming in. We're just getting started in Tobago even, and it's really just
because that would have been my next question. I know we have a lot happening in Trinidad, but sometimes Tobago gets neglected.
Yes.
Not intentionally, but it happens. So it's growing there as well in Tobago.
Yes.
And you mentioned earlier on, you said the schools, is it that they're starting from that secondary school level, or is it even before?
It's before. It's during secondary school. Right now we have a couple club teams. We have definitely a couple inside of the South, in Central, and then in the East. Tobago, we're starting off with just the secondary schools, right, and then we will grow it into the clubs.
Into clubs.
Yeah.
All right. And in terms of, let me ask, to become a cheerleader, what does it take to become a cheerleader? Let's say I have a young child, and maybe she do you have to be fit? Do you have to be an acrobat, or maybe a gymnast to become a cheerleader?
As far as, it really just takes the right attitude.
Okay.
You have to have the attitude to be able to learn, to be able to commit to the long hours and commit to the skill development, because, you know, we have some thicker girls as well as some smaller girls. Mm-hmm. The size of the person doesn't necessarily matter so much as the willingness to actually develop your talent. It's great to have gymnasts. It's great to be super athletic and just naturally have it, but what really sets cheerleaders apart is the devotion to actually developing skill.
Right. And what are some of the maybe minor and major competitions that we have for cheerleading in Trinidad?
Right now we're doing 2 competitions per year here in Trinidad. Mm-hmm. We have Cheer Explosion, which usually happens in around April.
Right.
This year we had it in June, just because a lot of the teams were getting ready for their exams, and so we wanted to give time for the athletes to actually get prepared. So we usually have it in April, and then another one in November, which is the nationals. So yeah, right now we're still at two competitions per year. Right. We're looking to have a little bit more competitions after the next couple of years.
And do we have teams performing internationally?
We don't as of yet, but we will. Okay. That will be the Cheer Xtreme team.
Right.
They are going to be going to ICU Worlds in April of next year.
Nice.
And they're going to be competing at the level 5 elite.
Explain, what is level 5?
Level 5 is really, it's really the level where you start to get into the harder skills, the harder stunts, the harder jumps, the harder everything. It's where you find you have the most elite athletes.
So you have, and of course, these are the most elite athletes. How do you select though? Because is it that they will be representing Trinidad and Tobago? Yes,
They will be representing Trinidad.
Is it just Cheer Xtreme, or do you pick from different groups, or maybe do you scout for other cheerleaders as well?
We're always scouting.
Always.
We're always scouting. Because the sport is so young here,
Right.
we have to look at all of our options as far as developing athletes from when they're younger. So we look to the secondary schools mostly, and then we look to the clubs. They would all compete against each other and at a tryout to get into the elite program, which would be the Cheer Xtreme program. Really, our first goal with Cheer Xtreme would be to develop coaches.
Right.
So because TTCF's goal is to actually develop cheer inside of Trinidad and Tobago, we want to develop coaches at an elite level that can actually go back and teach other cheerleaders. So Cheer Xtreme, yes, we like to boast on the world thing because we're gonna go and we're gonna place top 6, but really our goal with Cheer Xtreme is to develop coaches that will be able to go back and teach proper techniques, safety, and all of those.
And presently, well, I know you are a coach, and you are the coach of Cheer Xtreme.
I am.
What was your process in becoming a coach? Were you trained locally, internationally? What was that for you?
I've been coaching for just around 5 years, and I actually was trained internationally. I started cheerleading way back when. So a lot of the things that I'm familiar with, or a lot of my training, is through me going through it. I have the ICU certification, I have the USASF certifications, which were all done previously.
Before that.
But here in Trinidad, we are offering ICU certification for new coaches.
Nice.
So those things come around just around once a year, and all of our Cheer Xtreme athletes will be going through.
So let me talk with Cherisse a bit. What is some of the physical? Give us some insight on that, like the physical preparation for some of these stunts. Because I saw a video with you, and you were up in the air doing some flips, and I mean, I'm afraid of heights, so that's a lot for me right there. But what is the preparation like mentally and physically?
Okay, well, mentally, I actually have to want to be part of the sport.
Right.
Because, I mean, not everyone accepts cheerleaders.
Very true.
Well, mostly the male. But, I mean, whenever they think of cheerleading, they think, give me an A, give me a C. I'm like, no, that is not what it's about. But physically, it's a lot of work. I mean, as a flyer, in cheerleading, there are different
positions.
Right.
Flyer, base, spotter, and each part is essentially important. No one is better than the other.
Right.
So, I mean, if a flyer goes up in the air, of course, everyone's eye is on the flyer. But, I mean, there are people down there who's doing the work as well. A base and a spotter. So, physically, it's a lot of work, yes. I mean, it's a lot of hours. It's a lot of training. Coach, yeah, will know. One more time, about 5 more times.
Wow.
Yeah. But
what kind of hours do you put in, though?
She trains 5 days a week.
Wow.
And she gets to, or she has to go home because she's a top person. She's a flyer. She has to go home and she has to practice her technique as well as her flexibility. So that is her homework every
So there's the
week.
actual routine and practice at the facility, and then you go home and there's more homework.
oh, yeah, it doesn't stop.
All right. So we're going to take a short break, and we will be back with you talking some more about cheerleading.